Hey guys, glad to be with you again. To start today, I have two questions for you. One, what is the longest you've ever gone without getting a haircut? And the second question, what is the worst haircut you've ever had? Because today we will be talking about someone who went a long time without getting a haircut. But when he finally did, it was probably the worst haircut of his life. So, we're going to have a little story time. So get comfortable, get cozy if you want to get a little snack or a glass of water, a glass of milk or something. But now let's jump into story time. Today's story is about a guy named Samson. Okay? And Samson was a judge, like we've been talking about. He was one of the most famous judges, probably the one that people know the best. And Samson was born during a time when Israel had been conquered by the Philistines. Okay, so Israel was disobedient again. They were stuck in that cycle. And so God allowed them to be conquered by the Philistines. And one day, God spoke to a woman, and God told her, "You are going to give birth to a very special boy. And that boy is one day when he grows up is going to rescue Israel from the Philistines." And the woman was so excited and so grateful that God was going to use her like this. She promised to dedicate her son to the Lord. And as a sign of this dedication, she promised she would never cut his hair. She was never going to cut his hair. And so as Samson grew up, his hair grew longer and longer and longer, and she never cut it because she wanted to show that he was dedicated to the Lord. Now, God blessed Samson with great strength. Like, imagine the strongest person you know, or the strongest person in the world. Now, Samson, he made them look like a weakling, right? Samson was incredibly strong. And so, as he got older, the Philistines started to notice Samson because he was just so strong, right? Like normal everyday things, he was just like, Samson would go to open a door and he would just rip it off the hinges. Or when Samson would go to shake someone's hand, he would just crush their hand, right? Like word got around that Samson was a strong, strong dude. And so the Philistines started to get scared of him, that maybe he was going to overthrow them one day. And so one day Samson gets married to a woman named Delilah. And once he gets married, the Philistines are like, they have an idea, a way to figure out how to capture Samson. And so they go to Delilah one day when she's alone, and they tell her, "You need to help us figure out the source of Samson's strength." And, it's not clear whether they're going to give her money to do this or why she agrees, but she agrees to help the Philistines figure out the source of Samson's strength. So the next day when they're at home, Delilah asks Samson, she's like, "Samson, what makes you so strong?" And instead of telling her the truth about how he was dedicated to the Lord and never cut his hair, he told her, he said, "If someone were to ever tie me up with ropes that have never been used before, with 7 of them, I would never, all my strength would evaporate, and I wouldn't be able, to break free from the ropes." And so Delilah sneaks over to the Philistines and tells them, what to do. And so that night when Samson's asleep, the Philistines sneak in and they tie him up with the ropes. And they think they have him, but Samson wakes up and just busts out of the ropes, right? It didn't work because that wasn't the secret to his strength. And Delilah is like, "Samson, you're embarrassing me. Why would you lie to me? Why won't you tell me the truth? Don't you love me?" And Samson's like, "Of course I love you. Of course I love you." So the next day, this happens 2 more times. Delilah asked him to tell him the source of his strength, and Samson tells him a lie. And then the Philistines try the thing that Samson said. Samson wakes up, breaks free again. It doesn't work. And so every time Delilah's like, "Why would you lie to me? Don't you love me?" And finally, maybe you've had like a friend, maybe you've had a secret and someone bugs you enough about it that finally you're like, "Fine, just stop bugging me. I'll tell you." And oh, sorry, there's my cat being naughty. Finally, right, Samson agrees. He's like, "Fine, just stop bugging me and I'll tell you the truth. The reason why I'm so strong is because my hair has never been cut. And if someone were to cut my hair, all my strength would be gone." And so that night, the Philistines sneak in while Samson's sleeping and they cut his hair. And when he wakes up, they hold him to the bed and he tries to break free, but all his strength is gone. The Philistines have captured Samson. It was probably the worst haircut in the world. Well, maybe not as bad as this guy's or this other guy, but it was still really bad, right? But now Samson was supposed to be the promised one who is going to deliver the Israelites. So now what's supposed to happen? Well, the Philistines, in order to humiliate Samson, put him to work, right? They make him a slave. And so he's working and he's working. And they actually, in order to further humiliate him, they blind him. And so he's working and he can't see, and time goes by and time goes by. And the Philistines are going to have a huge party, and all the leaders of the Philistines are going to be there. And they want to further embarrass and humiliate Samson. So they say they're going to bring him to this party and put him on display for everyone. And what they don't know is that time has gone by and Samson's hair has grown out again and his strength was returning to him. And so as they're bringing Samson to this party, Samson has an idea. And he asks the people who are leading him to lean him and tie him up against the pillars since he can't see, and that he would need something to lean on. And so they do it. They tie him near these pillars. And as Samson is on these pillars, he prays to God. He says, "God, give me one last moment of great strength." And Samson puts his hands on the pillars and pushes as hard as he can. And he has so much strength that he pushes the pillars and breaks them. And the whole building that all the Philistine leaders are in collapses. And it kills all the Philistine leaders. And the Philistines don't know what to do anymore. And so the Israelite army, because all the Philistine leaders are gone now, the Israelite army is able to drive the Philistines out of Israel. And just like God had said, Samson delivered the Israelites from the Philistines. And so that is actually just a part of the story of Samson. The rest of it is a little crazy. So maybe if you're in like 4th or 5th grade, maybe ask your parents to read you the rest of the story of Samson. There's a part with the donkey, there's a part with the lion and some bees, there's a part with some foxes. But I'm not going to get into all that today. Today, the story is just about how God gave Samson incredible strength. Even when he felt like he was at his weakest moment, he gave him incredible strength. And so right now, maybe you're bored of being stuck at home. Maybe you're feeling like you're at your lowest. But think about how God might give you incredible strength to get through this. I miss all you guys, and I can't wait to see you soon. I'll talk to you later. Bye.